The following program was underwritten by the Resource Enhancement and Protection Conservation Education Program.
Here are some of the things that you'll need to calibrate the no-till drill, and I have them laid out on the table here. First, obviously, your prairie seed, and something to scoop the seed out with so we don't spill those precious seeds on the floor. You'll need 3 containers. I've used ice cream buckets, but large coffee cans will work too, or just anything to capture the seed when you're calibrating. I have a scale at this end. That's for weighing the seed. That's kind of an expensive scale, but even a little an ounce, any kind of ounce scale will work. Then I have a tape measure, and I'll explain these as we go along with the calibration. A Sharpie, a ball of string, a colored chalk or a tire crayon, scissors, a flat screwdriver, and for those who cannot do a lot of math in their head, they'll need a calculator. And of course, the operator's manual. And everything we talk about today is, as far as calibration, is included in the operator's manual. And it's all pretty much spelled out, and we're going to follow these same directions, pretty much to what the operator's manual recommends. So make sure you have your manual out and just double check the process. And because there are some numbers in the calibration process that you'll have to use, and if you don't have them committed to memory, you'll have to use the owner's manual to refer to those numbers. A few things to note before we start with the drill calibration is that this calibration process, was designed for a Truax no-till drill and may not be applicable for other drill brands. The second thing is that if more than one box is used for the seeding project, and this has actually 3 boxes, each box has to be calibrated separately, so keep that in mind. And then, as I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, you'll need to determine the flowability and the quality of your seed before you get to this point in calibration, because you have to have the seed mixed and you have to have it weighed and figure out what the bulk weight is before you get to this calibration step. So keep those 3 things in mind. The first process in calibrating a drill is we have to figure out the circumference of the drive tire. And on this particular model, the drive tire is in the back of the drill towards the center. Some of the other drill models, the drive wheel or drive tire is actually on the side of the drill. And the way you know that it's the drive tire or drive wheel is that there'll be a sprocket with a chain directly connected to the wheel. And this basically operates the entire drill, all the mechanisms of the drill. So let's get started. We want to figure out the circumference of this tire. We can do it the fancy way and use geometry where the circumference equals pi times the diameter, or 2 times pi times the radius. You can certainly go that route. The problem is with this particular tire, this is a flotation tire, and so it's hard because it's rounded. It's difficult to actually measure the diameter or the radius of this tire. And so we're going to do this the old school way, the good old boy way, and we're going to use a string. And all you have to do is take the string, so take the string and go around the outside of the tire. Pull the string tight, and then I have a little Sharpie here, and I'm just gonna put a little line on this string where they meet. Okay. And you remove your string. And the easiest way is just to lay this string out. I just lay it out straight. Just kind of pull it straight there. So there's my little line. So then I get my tape measure, and I just measure the length of string, and it's 70 inches. So we know that the circumference of the tire is 70 inches. Next thing we have to do is convert inches to feet. So basically you take 70 divided by 12. We come out with 5.83 feet. So that's just converting your inches of your circumference into feet. Then we have to take 217.8 and divide that by 5.83. So we come out with 37.3. That's how many revolutions we need to turn the tire to actually calibrate the drill. So I'm just rounding it to 37 revolutions. And obviously if you had a larger tire with a larger circumference, you may have to turn that tire more than 37 revolutions or less. It just depends on the size of the tire. Now you might ask where the 217.8 came from, and that is a factor that Truax gives you. And that's why one of the reasons why you need the instructions for calibration, just to remember that 217.8 number. So we know that we have to turn our tire 37 revolutions. Okay, the next step is we have to remove 3 feeder tubes from the box that we are going to use, or boxes. And remember, each box has to be calibrated separately. And we've determined that our seed will go through the rear cool season or grain box. And so we need to remove 3 feeding tubes for the seed off of the rear box. And all you need to do is take your flat screwdriver, you just unscrew the C-clamp. Okay, we have the tubes removed. Then we want to put our receptacles under each tube to catch the seed. Okay, we have our receptacles. And now we are ready to add the seed into the hopper. To adjust the seed delivery for this back box, we have a gate valve back here with a lever, and there's a scale, and it goes from 0 to 6. So the higher the number, the more seed that's delivered out of the box. So the higher the number, the higher the seeding rate. And so when we need to adjust, how much seed is going to be delivered through the drill, it'll be through this gate valve. Now, typically, if you don't know close to where you need to be, I recommend that you start right in the middle at 3. You start right at 3, and then go ahead and calibrate, and then adjust if you're too high or too low, and then recalibrate again. The manual recommends that you calibrate at least 3 times, just to make sure that you've got everything set properly. And usually it takes about 3 times if you don't know where you need to be at. Okay, the next step we need to do is actually add seed into the box that we are going to calibrate. Keep in mind that you want to add the seed in the cells directly above the tubes that you disconnected. Don't add seed on the other side. Just add it right above where the seed's going to be delivered into those tubes that you removed. So I've got my seed here. This scoop comes in handy. So I've got the first 3, you can see the first 3 cells are removed, so I'm going to put seed on this side. And definitely add enough seed to cover the feeder tube, the feeder picker wheel. And I usually like to put enough seed in until that agitation, those little agitation bars just start to disappear.